Dumb Money is a movie I didn't know I wanted to see. I'm glad someone made this into a screenplay and cast the fantastic and ever so talented Paul Dano as the lead. Yo, Andrew here. Okay, so this one happened during the beginning of the pandemic, and I think it's still going on right now. You can Google that later. However, let me explain. Quickly, before I do that, I gotta let you know, I am struggling to find cons about this movie. Absolutely struggling. Because I have about 7 pros as to why you should watch this movie in my pros and cons list later on in this video. But, however, before we do that, I'm gonna do the plot first. There will be absolutely no spoilers in this review. Okay, so here's the plot to this movie. A young family man slash nerd named Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty, he realized that there was a stock in a game franchise called GameStop. And these stocks were undervalued and he saw tremendous value in them and bought $50,000 worth of shares and then convinced a bunch of other people to do the same with whatever money they had by showing them his balance sheet every month for full transparency. So because of how shitty America is and people not getting paid a good wage to mitigate the poverty and starvation, a bunch of people just said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's put all our money into this. And then thousands of people actually did. And then meanwhile, a few other Wall Street rich dicks were hoping to short the stock and make them worth less, as in worth less, so they can buy back the now worth less shares back cheaper than they actually sold it. But definitely not if the Roaring Kitty and the rest of the everyday Americans struggling to make ends meet can do something about it. And they did. So that's your movie right there. Now, before you think this movie is not for you, listen up. It is for you, because this is an underdog and we all love underdogs and we want to see underdogs win. These are everyday people like you and I. And aren't you kind of sick of playing life on hard mode whilst all those rich people play life on easy mode every day? Okay, now I'm going to do the cons first and then the pros later. Con number 1. The real Keith Gill is far more handsome than Paul Dano. You know how movies cast gorgeous A-listers to play average Joes? Well, they didn't do that in this movie. However, I'm not saying Paul Dano is not a beautiful man. I'm just saying he is beautiful in his own way and it's not around here. It is here and a lot here. I'm talking about brain, not like zombie. Like he's got a gorgeous brain, very smart man and a fantastic actor, like fantastic actor. So, you know, there is that. That's it for cons. I really don't have anything I hate about this movie. I mean, there was a drone shot for like 3 seconds that really sucked, but no one noticed that. It's just me, because I'm a drone nerd. So there is not much I hate about this film. Pro number 1. This movie doesn't make you feel dumb for not understanding the stock market. They simplified it because the real people also don't know anything about the stock market. They just trust this one nerd and they trust him because he's passionate about this one share. Pro number 2. Paul Dano and Shailene Woodley were perfectly cast as the real people in this film. They worked really well together. Actually, everyone in this movie was well cast. They nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Pro number 3. Pete Davidson was playing a Pete Davidson archetype. You know, the whole stoner vibe. But the character didn't really feel over the top. It was actually quite believable. So don't hate on him. He was in this movie here and there, but he wasn't like a huge part of the movie. So if you're one of those people who don't actually like Pete Davidson, you don't have to worry too much. Pro number 4. This movie was perfectly paced, even though the topic was quite complex. Now, I don't know much about stocks, and I don't know much about practically anything. It was easy for me to follow, and I was hooked. Also, it was pretty funny in some parts. Pro number 5. As soon as this movie starts, you are hooked. I promise. I don't know what the writers and the directors did, but I was absolutely in. I was all in on this movie. I didn't expect it to be a good movie. I came with a shitty attitude and I was thinking this movie is gonna suck. But they changed my whole vibe and I was happy for it. Pro number 6. Now, because this is a real story, after you're done watching this movie, you start to think to yourself, damn, I should buy some stocks in a company I believe in and think might do well. And then you go home and you see your electricity bill and you're like, fuck that. And then you just sort of move on with your life. At least that's what I did. Pro number 7. This movie doesn't drag on. It just delivers everything in the perfect runtime of 1 hour and 44 minutes. And you don't even feel the passage of time. That's how good it is. My thought for this movie is you gotta go see this movie. It's well worth the watch. You don't have to know anything about the stock market or the finance world. It doesn't make you feel dumb at all for watching it. You just end up rooting for the underdog. And if you are watching this YouTube video, you are the underdog, because rich people are out there eating caviar and snorting cocaine off some chick's butt, which I kind of envy, actually. Look, all you need to know is that this is an underdog story, and we love underdog stories. And that's my 2 cents right there. And if you've seen this movie, I would love to know your take in the comments. Hopefully it's a positive one, because I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was gonna suck. I really did, but I absolutely enjoyed this movie. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.